Multimedia artist Melanie Manos held an exhibition right here at the Review Gallery this past summer. Let's take a look at her art, how it came about, and what it all means.
I feel like creativity is such an important outlet, and I'm not sure how to say how it is, but just the doing of it puts you into a different place mentally. I was born in Detroit and raised in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, Grosse Pointe Farms, and both my parents are Detroiters. My early training is in music, theater, and dance, but along the way I definitely always took to art that we did in school and drawing. I did a year at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts West, which is in Pasadena. But then I transferred to UCLA and really wanted to get more into academics. And while I was there, really kind of started to immerse myself into the art scene there, which was really thriving. And it was a time of really conceptual work, a lot of work that takes time to try to understand what's going on. Very, wow, what is this? This is not, this is not Cubism, this is not abstract expression, this is something totally different. And so I found that I really connected with artists and musicians more than actors. So the theater started to go away, but I still had all that training. And so what I did was I formed a performance art group with an artist named Laura Howe, and we called it Too Much Girl. A lot of it was just writing down things that occurred to us that were bothering us. It was sort of a social political venting, you could say, but we had a feminist bent. It was also sometimes very personal, like we would write things about how ridiculous it was. We would spend it was called Can't Get Dressed. We'd spend an hour and we still hadn't gotten dressed for something, and it was just like a self-parody, like, how stupid is this? I can't get dressed. And then I just started developing my own work and moving more into visual and sometimes doing performance. But eventually Too Much Girl, we kind of ended it and then started doing shows, more with painting actually. I think I like having the introverted time of working in the studio, but then the extroverted time where I'm doing something that's either a performative piece or more of a community-based kind of piece where you've got interaction with a group or a community. With this show that right now I'm doing, I've been working with the idea of scale. I think a lot of it comes down to, as a performance artist, I was working using myself and using the body. And I'm petite, I guess you could say, or diminutive. And so I found myself desiring, for some reason, to climb into things that, and looking at their interstitial. So why is that space there? What is that space for? I need to get in and experience it. So I've got some digital prints. I'll take those photos and then I'll work on them like in Photoshop and do some collage work. Like one, it looks like aspects of myself are helping myself reach something. And then there's another one, I call it self-reliance, where I'm climbing on top of myself, essentially. So I'm sort of asking people to look at that in-between space and to consider sort of the feeling of spaces. However, sometimes or often it becomes very site or place specific. What I'm conveying is having people think about themselves, their bodies, sort of to experience. We sort of forget we're so in our heads. And with this current show, it's the same kind of thing where I'm responding to the space of the gallery at Review Contemporary. So this was a building that was built like in 17, and it has, like, that era was like Albert Kahn, where he was kind of known for those big cement columns. So I was doing a residency at the McDowell Art Colony in New Hampshire over the like December, January, and there's these beautiful, huge trees. So you just open up your studio and look out the window, and these huge, monumental trees. And I started thinking, I've got to do some drawings about these trees. Then I started thinking about, how do I want to convey this? I want to do it on vellum. I want it to be charcoal. And I think I wanted this sort of an ethereal feel. So I was thinking they were going to be like scrolls, and the light would sort of come through them. And the scale of them I felt was interesting proportionally to working with these mini versions of me climbing this effort, the human effort. And we all work so hard, you know, it seems like. And the idea of perseverance. And I was also thinking about that a lot for Detroit, like you just have to persevere. It's gone through such hard times. And so I like to convey that, but with like a spoonful of absurdity. I do like to have humor in my work. So with the scale of these pieces, going back to this review gallery, I'm thinking if I make these huge trees and then you see this like Lilliputian figure trying to get up that tree. I think also about the kind of our hubris as humans, that we just own the world, or we conquer the world, and you know, we overtake nature. In some ways, again, going back to hubris and those whimsical drawings, they're kind of fun, but the underside of them is like thinking about, I mean, we all have to live somewhere, and so of course, you know, builders and urban planners create these communities, but sometimes I feel like everyone's on top of each other, you know, and I definitely kind of feel like the world's overpopulated, and there's just this idea about this and this fabricated world where we get kind of removed from nature, and then we have our landscapes. So you'll see all the little landscapes in there. I'm not a political commentator. I wish I did have that kind of, but I definitely have political feelings. I have social feelings, and for me, I try to bring it into the art. But again, I do it through, my way is a little bit more humorous, working with the absurd.
To find out more about Melanie Manos and all of the Detroit Perform artists, art events, and art programs, head to DetroitPerforms.org.